You know, sometimes when you ask God for things, He gives it to you, but not in the way that you expect Him to give it to you. So my husband and I are in Alaska, 10-year anniversary, and I'm telling you, the number one thing I want to see is an orca. Orcas are like my spirit animal. I absolutely love them. So we only booked 2 excursions because the excursions are very expensive. And we booked a whale watching trip and a train trip. And I was like, if I don't see an orca, I'm going to be super upset. And this morning, you know, as we're driving into Juneau, we're seeing like little spouts of whales, and they're humpback whales, and they're super cool. And I was like, where's the orca? Where's the orca? And I was like, oh, it's okay. I'll see an orca on the whale watching trip. And before we left, I was outside on the balcony, and I was talking to God, and I was like, God, I was like, I don't need you to show me an orca. It's not like I'm like gonna stop believing in you because you don't show me an orca. I just really want to see an orca. I trust you either way. Please show me an orca. And we went on our trip and we didn't see an orca, killer whale, whatever. And I was like, it's okay. I was like, we still got the rest of the trip. I was like, we still got the rest of the trip to see killer whale. And like I said, He doesn't have to show me anything. He doesn't have to show me a killer whale. So we got back from the whale watching trip and we're like, well, let's go get some king crab, of course. And then I really wanted one of like a hand carved statue, like an Alaskan hand carved statue. And we stopped at this one little side street, and it was obviously like a touristy thing. Like there was on all the statues that said like made in Canada, and it wasn't hand carved. And my husband looked something up and he's like, oh, there's one down the road, but it's like a 10-minute walk. Do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, I want to go because I want like an authentic one. So we went down there and it was such a cool place. And we were looking around and there wasn't a lot of killer whale stuff. And I was like, oh, that's really weird. Like I wanted like a statue. Like, you know, the one in like Free Willy that he carved, that like orca statue? I would just die if I saw that. And we found one that I was like, okay, I can do this one. We brought it up to the register. And I asked the lady, there was a young girl, pink hair. She was super cute. And then this older lady came up and I was like, hey, do you have any killer whale things? And she's like, oh yeah, we have a paddle back there. My husband's like, no, we won't be able to bring that home. And I was like, I don't even know what it looks like. So she was showing me this stuff and I was like, oh, it's really cute. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just get the statue and then a sticker. And she went back behind the counter and she was like, oh, she goes, well, can I show you this paddle? This is the paddle that I got hand carved. Literally the person that carved it, name right there. And you know, I was just chit-chatting with her and I was like, you know, we went on a whale watching thing and I was like, I really wanted to see a killer whale. And the little girl with pink hair was like, oh, she's actually from her tribe is the killer whale. And I was like, what? And I was like, and she's like, yeah, like her tribe's a killer whale. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I was like, I really wanted to see a killer whale while I was here. And she looked at me and she goes, well, you saw one. I'm a killer whale. And I literally started crying in the store. So that just goes to show you, when you are talking to God, He doesn't always give you what you want. You might be asking for something and He will give it to you, but not in the way you want it. So you just have to be open to how He thinks you need it. I asked to see a killer whale and I got to see a killer whale. God loves you, and so do I.